Top 10 Signs an INFJ has had enough of you. 1. Withdrawal and silence. One of the first and most telling signs that an INFJ has had enough is withdrawal. INFJs are naturally introverted, but when they've reached their limit, they will retreat even more into their inner world. They might stop initiating conversations, avoid social gatherings, or simply disappear for a while. This withdrawal is not just about needing alone time, it's a clear signal that they need space to process their emotions and regain their energy. If an INFJ suddenly becomes distant or quiet, it's time to pay attention. They're likely feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, and they need time to regroup. 2. Reduced empathy and patience. INFJs are known for their deep empathy and understanding. They are often the go-to person for emotional support and are usually incredibly patient with others. However, when an INFJ has had enough, you may notice a significant reduction in their empathy and patience. They might respond with short, clipped answers, seem uninterested in your problems, or become irritated more easily. This shift is not because they've suddenly stopped caring. It's a defense mechanism. When they're emotionally drained or overwhelmed, they have little energy left to give, and their usual empathy takes a back seat. 3. Decreased interest in your life. INFJs are deeply interested in the lives of those they care about. They remember the little details, ask thoughtful questions, and genuinely want to understand what makes you tick. But when an INFJ has had enough, their interest in your life may dwindle. You might notice that they stop asking how your day was, don't follow up on previous conversations, or seem disengaged when you share something personal. This is a sign that they're either feeling disconnected from you or that they're too emotionally exhausted to invest in your life as they usually would. 4. More direct and blunt communication. INFJs are usually diplomatic and gentle in their communication. They choose their words carefully to avoid hurting others' feelings and are often skilled at delivering even difficult messages with kindness. However, when they've had enough, this gentle approach might shift to something more direct and blunt. They may start speaking their mind without sugarcoating their words, pointing out issues or expressing frustrations more openly. This change in communication style is a sign that they're no longer willing to tiptoe around the issue and are ready to address it head-on. 5. Setting firm boundaries. INFJs are naturally accommodating and often go out of their way to meet the needs of others. But when they've had enough, they start setting firmer boundaries. This might involve saying no more often, declining invitations, or clearly communicating what they will and will not tolerate. Setting boundaries is an important self-care practice for INFJs, especially when they feel their limits have been pushed. If you notice an INFJ in your life suddenly becoming more assertive about their needs and boundaries, it's a sign that they've reached their breaking point and are protecting their energy. 6. Expressing frustration or irritation. INFJs are usually calm and composed, often keeping their frustrations to themselves to maintain harmony. However, when they've had enough, this frustration may start to bubble to the surface. You might notice them sighing more, making sarcastic or biting comments, or even snapping when pushed too far. This expression of irritation is a clear sign that they're overwhelmed and need space. They're no longer able to keep their feelings under wraps and are signaling that something needs to change. 7. Avoidance of conflict. INFJs are conflict-averse by nature. They prefer harmony and will often go out of their way to avoid confrontations. But when an INFJ has had enough, their avoidance of conflict might become even more pronounced. They might dodge difficult conversations, leave the room when tensions rise, or even go so far as to ghost someone to avoid a confrontation. This behavior isn't about being passive-aggressive, it's about self-preservation. When an INFJ feels that a situation is beyond repair, or that a confrontation will only lead to more stress, they may choose to avoid it altogether. 8. Detachment from shared activities. INFJs are often deeply involved in the lives of those they care about, sharing activities, hobbies, and interests. But when they've had enough, they may start to detach from these shared experiences. They might stop participating in activities you used to enjoy together or withdraw from group events. This detachment is a sign that they're pulling back emotionally. They're conserving their energy and may be reassessing the relationship or situation. If you notice an INFJ becoming increasingly distant in shared activities, it's a clear sign that something is amiss. 9. Reduced eye contact and physical closeness. INFJ men and INFJ women are usually warm and engaging in their interactions, often using eye contact and physical closeness to connect with others. But when they've had enough, these behaviors may change. They might avoid eye contact, keep their distance physically, or pull away from touch. These changes in body language are a sign that the INFJ is feeling disconnected or uncomfortable. They may be distancing themselves emotionally and physically as a way to protect their inner world. If you notice an INFJ avoiding closeness, it's a signal that they need space or that the relationship dynamic needs to be addressed. 10. Disengagement from deep conversations. Individuals with the INFJ personality thrive on deep, meaningful conversations. They love exploring ideas, emotions, and the complexities of life with those they care about. However, when they've had enough, they may disengage from these types of conversations. They might give short, non-committal answers, change the subject, or avoid deep topics altogether. This disengagement is a sign that the INFJ male or INFJ female is emotionally exhausted or no longer feels connected in the same way. They may be protecting themselves from further emotional drain or signaling that the relationship is no longer fulfilling for them. If you recognize these signs in your interactions with an INFJ, it's important to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. INFJs are deeply caring and thoughtful individuals, but they also have limits. When those limits are reached, they need space, respect, and often a deeper level of communication. If you're in a relationship with an INFJ, whether as a friend, partner, or family member, remember that their needs for space and emotional recharge are not personal rejections. It's simply how they protect themselves and maintain their well-being. By understanding these signs and respecting their boundaries, you can strengthen your relationship with the INFJ in your life. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced these signs with an INFJ, or if you're an INFJ, how you handle reaching your limits. Until next time, take care and be kind to one another.